I will not allow you into the meeting if you are not joining the meeting after 5 to 10 minutes. I've enabled the waiting room. Henceforth, this will be followed not only by me. I'll instruct all the faculties. They'll be enabling the waiting rooms and then they will be disabling the chat box. Whenever they feel it is comfortable, if it is required to get the attendance, only that time they will enable the chat box, and then we will not allow you to enter into the room after 5 to 10 minutes maximum. I hope the screen is visible. Anyone can unmute and say the answer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for your acknowledgement. So we were discussing about the message authentication code. When we talk about the message authentication code, it's the purpose is to confirm the two things. One is the integrity as well as the authentications of the message, whatever which is being conveyed, right. I was asking a questions, what is the purpose of the hash message or hash code? When we talk about this hash code, which was used for the integrity, right, in order to check the integrity, hash code was used, right. How the hash code which achieved the integrity, which by means of, with the help of the any basic functions, hash code has been produced. So this is our actual message, and we'll be applying the hash function which produce the hash code. This hash code which will be appended with the actual message with hash code, and followed by the entire information, the concatenated information which will be forwarded to the receiver. Receiver will be knowing about what type of function which has been adapted. Now you will get the message plus hash code of the message, right, and it will segregate this entire two values, and by received this message, again you'll be applying the hash function, and it will produce the hash code, and this two hash code will be compared. If it is equal, and he will assume that, or he will ensure that the message is not altered during the data transmissions, right. Similar with that, in order to check the integrity, in order to ensure the integrity, what are the traditional solution which was used, signature, right, as well as, right, again signature and the seal, right. So if I sign some signature on any document or any requisition letter, or that my signature which gives that an approval, right, that means that I read the content which is written on the letter, and then I just agreed on the conditions. Whenever you are signing on any document, what does that mean? You read the complete document, and then you agreed the whatever the statement which are mentioned in the particular document. Very similarly, right, so that means that the signature part which is going to make sure that you agreed, which is going to make sure that which has been approved or agreed by the authenticated users, right. Again very similar with that, right, the message part as well as the authenticator part, how we use in the hash code and then hash functions, right. When we talk about how this the message authentication code which is going to work digitally, right, where we are going to tag, so it is kind of a secret code which has been generated with the help of different parameters, and that is going to be forwarded to the receiver. Okay, so then once this is done, right, and however you got the basic idea why we need to go for the integrity as well as an authentication with the help of a different tool, right. So this is a continuation with our previous session, right? Suppose if why we need to go for an authentications, what will happen if the user is not authenticated one and anyone can create, or he can just masquerade and he can send a forged message or he can send a duplicate message, right? Now this is what the communication which is going to happen between this Alice and Bob, right? This is what the message. But if the user is not authenticated, what the attacker, a third person, he will do, he will try to interpret the message, and then otherwise what he can do, he can block this message or he can block this communication, and he will create a new data or new information that is going to be delivered to the actual receiver. By receiving the message, if there is no authentication, so Bob may assume that the message is coming from the Alice, but actually the message is intercepted or which has been created and fabricated and transmitted by the in the man in the middle or attacker called Eve. Similarly, how this message authentication code protects. When you talk about the basic fundamentals with the message authentication code, so here we are going to have a key value, that key value which will be used or which is going to be no along with the actual message, which is m is the message here. Now both the users, Alice and Bob, they will have the key. So let's assume it is a secret key, right? So this is only known by this users, Alice and Bob only. If the data is no applied to the key, and if they are generating a code, right? I repeat, message which can be along with the key value k. Now they'll be creating a small key or small code, right? So that will be added with the message with the code. This code, in order to generate the code, we use this derived or maybe whatever the value which we received, right? The message, and along with the key, we did some operation and we created a fixed size code. This is similar with the hash function, but when we talk about the hash function or hash code, where we did not apply or we did not use any keys. Hash function is a public function, right, which accepts the input, and with the help of the different subsequent operation which will produce a fixed size code which will be called as a hash code or message digest. Similarly, this entire plain text message, right, which is going to be applied or with the help of the key, when you talk about message authentication code, which will produce a code. Now this code which is going to act as an authenticator, which is called message authentication code. I hope this is clear, because this entire concept which I have already discussed in the previous session or maybe in the introduction to the chapter number 3, right? So even if attacker get this complete information, and he need to know what is the code which is used, what is the code value or the key value which is used, right? And you need to identify, or you need to, first of all, you need to know whether it is the complete message or whether it is the concatenated with the code message. Once if we guess that it is a concatenation of the message as well as code, and then you need to identify the what is the size of the code, and followed by you need to identify the key through which the code has been generated. So these are the difficulties, right? The attacker, you need to guess or you need to acquire all this information in order to send a fake message. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so similarly, this message authentication code, how which is going to act or which is going to use for or which is going to achieve an authentications, right? So this message authentication code allows two or more mutually trusting parties. So if there are more than two users in a group who wanted to use this message authentication code, right, to make sure the whether the message is coming from an authenticated users, right? So for that, if there are more users, right, as many users we have in the group, all the users, they will have the common key or common shared secret key. Now I just wanted to know what is the different keys which we are using. Just kindly let me know the difference. What is this session key and secret key? What is the difference between the session key and secret key? Anyone? Unmute and say the answer. What is the session key and secret key? Is it going to be the same?
So session key is also a secret key, but the key has a session last.
Okay, basically these two keys are secret key only. When we talk about the secret key, right, it can be a symmetric key or the same key which can be used. But why the word session is used specially? The session key which is valid only for the particular session. Session means initializing the communication and message transmission and then acknowledgement. After that, the session key will be discarded automatically. I hope this is clear. But when it comes for the secret key, right? So there is no such kind of validity, right? How we are using ATM pin numbers, so which we'll consider as a secret key. The secret key which is going to be the same for the particular, maybe the month or maybe the year, right? Unless until you change it. But when we talk about the session key is valid for only a particular, a small amount of time duration. Say for example, if you wanted to do any online transaction, right, in order to make sure whether the transaction is carried out or the transaction is no initiated by the authenticated users, and you'll be getting a OTP message, one time password. So along with the OTP you will be getting the expiry time. So maybe this OTP is valid for only 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and if you are not entering this OTP within the time period, automatically this the OTP will be discarded. So that is called a session key. Session key is also a secret key, but it has a limited time validity. If you are not using the key, or the session key which will be used only for the particular transaction or when only for the particular session, right? I hope this is clear. I might be using the word interchangeably, and accordingly you can understand the concept. Is it clear?
Sir, is private key secret key too?
Private key is not a secret key, we may assume, but when it comes for the private key, if you use the word a private key, and so that comes under the public key concepts, right, where the user will a pair of key A and B. Out of that, when we use the term public, and indirectly it assumes that there is an another key which is called a public. Okay, so it better we can use the word which is a symmetric key or secret key. So this means that if you are saying the word, if you are using the word secret, so that is only one key. If you are using the private key, so that gives that a meaning that the user may have another key which is public key. Okay, the
Okay,
private
sir.
key is the term which is used only in the public key cryptography, where individual users they will maintain a pair of keys. Out of that, one is called a private key, the another one is called a public key. Okay, we'll continue here. The secret key now, which will be commonly known between the list of users, right, who are all be the part of the particular communication group. Okay, if there are different users, Chris, Alice, and Doc, right, all the users, they will have a common shared secret key, except this Eve, who is called, who is identified as an attacker, right? So if the data, if the message is coming along with the message authentication code, right, the message authentication code which is generated based on the key which is shared with the authenticated users, right, the key which has been selected or selected by anyone, and that can be shared with the different users, right? So by the way, so this can achieve authentication as well as integrity. When we talk about how the integrity is achieved, when we talk about this message authentication code, because this integrity is going to be achieved because the key, whatever the hash code which we use, whatever the code which we used, right? So here, along with the hash functions, whatever we discussed so far, right? So when we discussed about the previous concepts, because we have used the code, this MAC code which has been generated using the key which is already shared. If any code which has been generated using the key which has been already shared, again which provides an authentications, right? Give me a second. Okay, so when we discuss about how the integrity is achieved with the hash functions, right, this is very similar with our hash function whatever we discussed so far, right? Different MD5 algorithm as well as SH algorithm, the same concept which we discussed so far, right? Hash function, hash code will be generated, that will be added, and finally you will receive the message, and you will calculate the hash code, and you will check the integrity, the simple version, right? When we talk about the actual logic behind the message authentication code, right, a function of the message, this is, let's assume this is a plain text and a secret key, right, that produce a fixed length value that serves as an authenticator. This is called message authentication code, right, which will be generated from a message plus secret key which is MAC, where this is C is the code, and so this is generated along with this message and the secret key. And so this is a small fixed size block of data. It may be equal to the length of the hash code 128 256 512, so that can be defined by the user, right? Again, so this the code which is going to be appended with the message, so that is going to act as a signature through which the authentication can be ensured. So this is the logic message, and that is going to be applied with the key in order to generate the message authentication code. Message authentication code is generated and that is appended with the actual message. So here, after concatenation, this is our plain text and followed by the message authentication code. Receiver already know the key which is used for calculating the message authentication code. By receiving this plain text, and you'll be applying this the code or the function which we use to generate for message authentication code along with the key what he knows already, and he will generate message authentication code. Now this code is going to compare with the message authentication code which is received from the sender. If the both the values are matches, so this ensures that integrity. Okay, any doubt regarding this explanation? Now you can write the attendance in the chat box. I'll give you 2 minutes. Write your attendance in the chat box now. Okay, so when we talk about this, the properties as well as along with the hash functions, now this message authentication code also going to use for an authenticated as well as now to check the integrity whether the message is coming from the authenticated users as well as the data is received without any further modification during the transmission, right? I hope all of you have entered the attendance. If not, do it quickly. I'm going to disable the chat box now. Okay, we were discussing about the message authentication code, how the message authentication code which serves as an authentication property, right? Similarly, right, how this is going to differ from the message authentication code, how this is going to differ from the encryption function. Now, what is the difference between encryption as well as message authentication code or the hash function? So in the beginning of this chapter, I explained about the three technique which is used for an authentication purpose: encryption, message authentication code, and then hash function. The basic differences between the encryption and the hash function which we discussed is encryption is a reversible operation. I hope you will agree this, where if you use a secret key, if you have encryption, you will have the decryption function. So the operations are reversible if you have the decryption and you can have the encryption, right? So but when we talk about this message authentication code or hash function, so these are all one-way property or one-way functions where there is no such kind of reverse operation as we carried out in the encryption. Okay, so based on this property, right, why we need to use MAC rather encryption, right? Sometimes we may select this or we may use this only for the purpose of an authentication, and sometimes we may use this as for integrity. If we use an encryption function, sometimes, right, the integrity may not be achieved. The attacker can get the key and then he can encrypt the data or he can decrypt the data and he can send the same message, right, based on the key which is used for encryption, and he'll do the deciphering and he will send the fake message, right? And one thing you're supposed to remember is that, so this is not a digital signature, right? Because digital signature is something that which has been created using which key, which will be used for creating digital signature. Any guess? Any idea? What is digital signature? What is digital signature? Quick. Okay, when we talk about the properties, right? So first of all, it is one-way property. Wherever we find a reduction of the values, hash function, which will accept a variable size of input and that will reduce the values into fixed size output. Say for example 128. So this is irreversible. Similarly, so here the MAC which can accept any size in plain text, and then along with the key value which will reduce or which will create a fixed size message authentication code. So this may be 1024 bits, for example, this may be 1024. From that we can create a 128 bit, but from 128 bit we will not be able to generate 1024 bits, right? So here this is what the property again, so which is based on the variable sense and then sorry variable size, and which use a secret key k, and then which will create a fixed size authenticator which is called message authentication code, right? So what will happen, so when we talk about the problem with the message authentication code, this is going to be same with that electronic code book mode. Can you recall the concepts? Electronic code book mode, what is that electronic code book mode, which is a block cipher modes of operation. Under the topic we discussed about few different techniques through which we studied, right? So when we talk about electronic code book mode which accepts, right, this is plain text block and which is going to be applied with the key k, and we'll get, say for if it is 64, if this is 64, we'll get a 64, the same key which will be used for all the blocks. Here we'll get a 64 ciphertext. What if the key values are going to be the same? If the plain text values are repeated, if I'm using SAMPATH, if the plain text repeats here, I'll get the same ciphertext. Here also same, here also same, right? So this is what the big disadvantages of using the MAC property. I hope you can understand. If you use the same key for the same plain text block, the repetition of the ciphertext will occur, right? If the ciphertext repeats, so attacker or maybe the hacker will easily guess what type of key which is used for encryption, right? So if you are using the same function, so this may not be same when we talk about the MAC where the size will be reduced, but if you are using the same logic for the same plain text, we'll be getting the same code, might be smaller in size. Okay, Any queries? Okay, so this is again the key value hash, right, which is we will be calling as hash message authentication code. This is, now so far we discussed about the message authentic hash function. Through that we created a hash code, which is message authentication code. Now in order to increase the security, right, so we are going to combine both this technique, hash code plus message authentication code, which is HMAC. I hope this is clear. When we talk about hash message authentication code, which is the conjunction or combination of hash function, which is going to be combined with the message authentication code, right? Both the two different no, integrity checking techniques are combined, and which will create a code. So that is called HMAC, hash message authentication code. Now what is this? The message authentication code technique which can be combined with any of the hash function, MD5, SHA, whatever the things which we studied, right? So that will produce a code, so that will be used for check the authentications. I'll quickly explain the logic how this hash message authentication code works. So I could say this is a simple architectures, right? Now till this part, I think we studied this. The complete part is this is hash function, right? Maybe any hash function, MD5. I'll explain the entire thing with the MD5 algorithm, right? So here we'll be dividing the values into blocks, and followed by the further operation will be performed with the SHA. Before that, right, so we are going to use the values which are whatever the value which we have here. K is the key. So now this is for the message authentication code process, right? So when we talk about the message authentication code, right, it is the process through which, right, so where the message will be applied, or the key value along with the key and the message which will be combined, and which is going to perform some operation, and which will produce a fixed size code. So here this is a key value K plus, along with that input padding value, right? When we talk about K plus is expanded key padded with the zeros on the left, so that the result is B bits in length. So we wanted to produce a fixed size value. So here we are doing the padding process, so that even if you select a smaller size in a key, so that can be expanded to the specific length. Similarly, here the iPad, which is again the any constant value, right? So here you can select this. This will be represented in specific bits. Now these two values which are going to be combined, and finally that is going to produce a value, right? Now this entire value, this is the message authentication code which is produced. Now this is going to be combined with the actual information, and followed by the hash function will be carried out, and whatever the output we are getting at the end of the hash function in MD5, we'll be getting this 128. So now this hash code, which is based on this hash code, whatever the value which we produced, and then the secret key value which we use appended, right? So this entire information again, which is going to be repeated for one more time with the different values, which is K plus, which will be the same value, and output pad. So here the K plus, so first we can use K1, and the second you can use a different key. As many parameters, if you are using a different parameters, accordingly our security will increase, and we are going to repeat the process, and then here we'll get the S0 value which is based on the B bits, right? So here the value which we derived from the hash function, both the values which are going to be again applied to the hash function, which will produce a hash code. I hope this is clear.
Sir, can you repeat?